Hi, my name is Patrick, but you can call me 26, and today we're going to talk about strings. Now, what are strings? Strings are a collection of characters surrounded by quotation marks, right? Now, a character is just a Unicode element. So let's have a look at what a character is. So we could come here and we say var my character, and my character, we could say this is going to be of type character, and this is going to be the letter I, right? So this is a single character, and this is a single character. So when you have a collection of them, we say my characters, and my characters are going to be of type string, and this is going to be I am Groot, right? So if we have this is going to be a string because it's a collection of them. Now, when you declare something in within quotation marks and don't specify, Xcode is going to pick the more complete value, right? So for example, if you come and say var and we say my other character, like so, and then we don't tell it what it's going to be, we could put a single character, and in order to open the emoji dictionary, you hit Control Command and spacebar and you get the emoji dictionary, and we pick that, and that's going to be a single character. You could assume that Xcode is going to interpret this as being a character, but it's actually going to be a string. So if we come here and we say print, like so, and we say something like type of, and we want my other character. If we do this and actually run it, you will find that Xcode is going to say this is a type of string, right? So this is a type of string. So when you don't declare it, it's going to pick the more complete value, and in this case the more complete value is going to be a string. Okay, now another thing you should note is that an empty string is still a string, right? So if we say var empty, like so, and then do this, and we check the type of empty, this is going to tell us that this is a type of string. So an empty string is still a string. That's something you should remember. And another thing which is very common in doing with strings is that we can convert strings into integers and integers into strings. For example, we could come here and we say var num is going to be, let's say this is going to be 9. This is a very common thing that you might want to do, and this is going to be 9, and you could just say int num, like so. And if we run this, you will see that this 9 has quotation marks and the other 9 doesn't have quotation marks. That is, we have converted it into an integer. And we can do the opposite also. We could come here and we say num2. Num2 is going to be something like 78. And we could convert it to a string by saying string. This is a very common operation. And this is going to be num2. And if you run this, you're going to see that this is going to be of type string, right? Because you can check that there's the quotation marks, that therefore it is a string. And we could also inject numbers into strings. For example, we could say var my number, and this is going to be something like 26, and then we say something like var my my fav, let's call it my fav, and this is going to be a string. And here we just say my favorite number is, then we use string interpolation, and in the string interpolation we could just come here and say my number, like so. When we run this, we could come here and say print, and what do we want to print? We want to print my fav, like so. If we run this, we're going to see that my fav is actually, my favorite number is 26, the number that is interpolated here. And another thing we could do here is we could actually do mathematical equations, or we could do arithmetic here, right? So what we could do, instead of saying my favorite number is 26 here, we could double it by coming here and multiplying it by 2, like so. So if you do this and run this, you're going to say you're going to get my favorite number is 52. We have successfully doubled it when we were string interpolating it. Okay, now another thing we could do is we could actually concatenate strings. That is a fancy way of saying that we could join them up. We could say var a is going to be all right, and then we say var b is going to be okay, and we say var c is going to be a plus b, right? Give it equal space. Swift is finicky about that. And then we could come here and we say print c, like so. Try running this, and we should see all right, okay, without a space in between, right? If you want to put a space, you could maybe put a space here, or you could create another variable with a space and include it. And if you run this is going to work, right? But supposing we say that b is going to be, let's say, a number like 67, right? And if we try running this, it's going to refuse because you cannot concatenate, or you cannot, the operator cannot be applied to a string and an integer. It has to be, both of them have to be strings, right? Now, another thing you could do, or you might be interested in doing, is writing multi-line strings, right? You want to write like a multi-line string. How you do that is pretty straightforward. You could say here, let multiple, and multiple is just going to be put 3 quotation marks like that, and let's say let multiple, and this should be lowercase, let multiple, and we could come here and we say something like everything is awesome, right? And then we complete it with another 3 like so, right? And if we come here, of course this needs to be a string also. We could come here and say print, and this is going to be something like we want multiple. So if we do this, we're going to see everything is awesome, right? So we could actually write strings in multiple lines. Like, you might not be able to see it in multiple lines on the side panel here. What you could do is you could hit the button at the corner here, and you're going to see it in 3 lines. Everything is awesome, right? So it's at the very bottom here. Maybe let's give ourselves a bit more real estate. So you see everything is awesome, right? And another thing you might want to do is you might want to write a string that contains a quotation marks. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. I'm going to show you one way on how you can actually do this. A string can contain quotation marks, and for that you have to use either the octothorpe. You use the octothorpe, or you could also escape the particular character. I'm going to show you how to do it with the octothorpe because I think it's the easiest way. So for example, if you want to show quotation marks on a string, what you would say is do something like var is mine, and come here and we say this is going to be hashtag like so, and then say quotation marks, and then say this is mine like so, and then come here and put maybe single quotation marks like so. And if we run this, this is going to be this is mine. You can see that this is mine, right? If you want to print that, you say print, and this is going to be is mine like so. So if we do this, we're going to say this is mine, and you see the quotation marks. Of course, you can also put double quotation marks, right? It's not just single, we could put double, and the result is pretty much going to be the exact same, right? So you say this is mine. So that is how you would want to show the print characters that you might not actually be able to print, right? Like, for example, if you want to print quotation marks, that's how you do it, or you would want to print a backslash, right? That's how you do it. Now, another very common thing you could want to do with strings is to get the count of them. Although I'm going to create another video where I'm going to show you various functions related to strings that could be helpful as you go along, right? This is more geared towards if you're interested in doing stuff like LeetCode and whatnot. So for example here, what we could do is say print, come here and say is mine, and we just want to say is mine count like so. So we have is mine count. This is going to tell us the length of the string, right? So this is the number of characters in the string, and in this case count is going to be 14, right? So we print and we check is mine is going to have 14 characters, right? So that's a very common feature or thing you would want to do when you're handling string. Thank you for following along. That was a very gentle introduction to strings. I will see you in the next video.